Hey, Tad!
Yes, Alex.
Let me tell you about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so this game just came out a couple weeks ago, and you've probably had everyone on the fucking planet talk about it because of how good it is, and it's very fucking good. Now, we're just gonna put this out right in the front here. We're gonna have a shitload of spoilers in this game, because we've been playing it and loving it. This is the kind of game that you want to just run around and explore and be as unspoiled as possible. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then go kill yourselves and get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, do not listen to any of this because you will regret finding out anything about this game because it's 100% exploration. You don't even want to know the abilities you have in the game or whether there's like dungeons and shit. Like, you don't even want to know any of that shit.
Because when you find out some random bullshit, you're like, damn, I feel fucking great.
That being said, let's go right into it. Alex, why is this probably one of the best games I've ever played in my entire fucking life?
Well, it's a mixture of completely new type of game from this series. Like, it is a breath of fresh air, as people like to shitpost about. So, like, you've been playing the Zelda formula for so long, having this game come out and be different immediately makes you go like, holy shit. It kind of gets you by surprise a little bit, right? Then the actual game itself is very solid with its exploration. It's like borderline survival mechanics with the temperature and the sounds and the food and shit. It's just this completely crazy ass fucking game. It's very hard for me to describe because there's just so much to it.
It is a game that is entirely based on...
It's based on self-satisfaction of doing things is a good way to say it.
Exactly.
Like when you fucking say chop down a tree for the first time instead of climbing it to get apples, you're like, damn, I feel fucking smart. When you fucking you figure out how to cook peppers and then get through the cold climates, you're like, damn, I figured that out. I'm a fucking genius. Or figure out how to work a raft, because the game doesn't tell you anything outside of here's how you cook food. You can put it on a fire when the old man tells you, and that's pretty much it.
It tells you some controls, but so the main story, the main quest of the game. The game starts. You wake up in a cave. It tells you, all right, here's how you move. Here's how you run real fast. Here's how you jump. Okay, you're good. Here's how you put on equipment. Here's some jars, some chests to open. All right, you're set. And you go out. And this was legitimately how I first started the game. I went out of the cave, and then it does a little camera zoom out. It's like, whoa, hey, look at all this stuff. Hey, look, there's a church in the distance. I'm like, yes. I turn around, look at the cave. I'm like, I wonder. I jump, climb on top of the cave, and fuck off in the opposite direction for about 6.5 hours.
Mm-hmm. The best part about this game too is that there's no real direction. There's one quest that you have to do for real. Kill Ganon. That's it. Everything else is entirely optional. Every main quest and side quest doesn't matter outside of killing Ganon.
You can technically do it right from the start.
Yeah, that's why the speed run for this game is 50 minutes, because you have to do the tutorial. That's the only time it actually holds you back a little bit, is because it wants you to do the tutorial there because it unlocks you your powers and gives you the paraglider. And trust me, you couldn't play the game without the fucking paraglider.
The tutorial is even by itself pretty hands off.
Yeah, the most you get is just like when he tells you to do those 4 shrines for the powers, they don't even mark it on your map. They specifically tell you to mark it on your map for yourself and then tell you to fuck off.
It's fantastic.
Another thing I like about that system right there too is that for a lot of the quests, it doesn't give you the direction you need to go in at all. Like, say, Impa's quest, where she's like, go recover your memories. If you try to mark the quest, it'll just take you back to Impa, who gave you the quest in the first place. You gotta find them all yourself.
Yep, so the tutorial area, you go through, it's like a little preview. There's a mountain that you'll try and climb, realize it's too cold, so you'll have to leave. To get up there, you can either, you find some peppers. Or
you can use a torch, because holding hot weapons also increases your body temperature.
Yeah, you realize, there's only one instance I've found so far of the game stopping me from going somewhere. And that's in Death Mountain. I tried to jump on the actual volcano, and there was a strong wind gust that pushed me back because I didn't drop the gate yet. I didn't drop the gate to go over there officially. And that's literally the only time I've encountered something that just stopped me.
And obviously, there's a map boundary for when you try to leave the entire map because it's a video game.
And the map boundary I really, really liked, because I was in the far east. I'm in the oceans, and I see, I got a shrine that was right there, and I see like, hey, wait a second, what's that in the distance? It's an island. There's like 3 or 4 islands, and so I'm going out there, and then like there's just winds and current pushing me back, and I'm like, okay, and I thought that was really well done. Because it didn't just stop me or say they didn't have something pop up that said, "Oh, you have to turn back around."
Unfortunately, that does actually happen if you try to climb one of the mountains. That's one of the boundaries. It says you cannot climb this mountain or something. That's why, like, this game, what a lot of people say is this game is legitimately what Todd Howard said. You see that mountain? You can climb it. But people will post that image and say, "You see that mountain? Well, you can't climb that one."
So that boundary, like, they had islands outside of there. And it gave the impression that there was still stuff further outside past Hyrule.
Mm-hmm.
The map for the game itself, like, I was in the tutorial area, and before I unlocked the map, I thought that was the game. I'm like, oh, okay. I saw some stuff outside of there. You can see what you see from the tutorial area. I'm like, okay, cool. But, like, on top of the big mountain in the tutorial area, you see, like, maybe half the game map? At most.
You can see very fucking far. There's a shitload of draw distance in this game.
Yeah, the draw distance is fantastic. You can see from almost anywhere.
You can almost always see Hyrule Castle from the fucking distance. And when you start unlocking the Divine Beasts, which is another one of the main quests that you can do or do not, you'll start seeing them actually on the mountains or cliffs or whatever that they sit on and shoot their fucking beams at Ganon.
Yep. It's fucking awesome.
And like I said, that self-fulfillment achievement, whatever I'd mentioned earlier, when you do the Divine Beast and you see them up there, you're like, damn, I finished that. Look at that up there. It stands as like a monument to what you just did earlier.
And what you were saying with the self-fulfillment, here's how I... Alright, so I finished the tutorial area, I was with my friend Lucas. We couldn't figure out the recipe because he forgot the name of it was spicy seafood. And so we spent forever like, okay, we got the meat, we got the peppers. Okay, it's something around the point in the middle of the map. It's talking about the pillar. The only thing around here is like fish, and I don't think those can go in here because it's meat. And so we couldn't figure it out. So we're like, okay, meat, peppers, and mushrooms. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-doop ting. And we made a bunch of those. I climbed the mountain on there, and the dude's like, whoa, hey, you made it up here without the doublet. Here you go. And then he gave me the doublet. And then I jumped into the water and immediately died because I froze to death.
When you get the magnetic power on the ice mountain, you have to like make the little bridge. I made the bridge, got on it, it fell down, it fell into the water, and I died.
But so I got out of there, and this was like there were 2 moments in the tutorial that made me think, like, okay, first one when I turned around, fucked off for 6.5 hours, and the game didn't try to redirect me. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Thanks for letting me do this and not treating me like a retard in a Zelda game of all fucking games. And then when you finish the quest, and the guy's like, hey, go out to the Twin Peaks, head east along the road. When it forks, take the north to Kakariko Village. It didn't put up a mini map or like a HUD UI marker that said go here. It had it on the mini map, which like I'm okay with that, whatever. If because it's Zelda, some people are not gonna remember, and sometimes it's nice to just have that. But like you're not gonna be able to see it unless you open up the map or whatever. But like you could just take the verbal directions, head east, past the towers. When you hit the fork, take north, and you're there. Which was fucking. Woo! I set down the controller, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a good game.
That's what I felt when that's how I felt when Impa gave me the memory quest, and the directions just pointed right back to Impa. I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking smart as hell.
See, I went on this whole quest where I was just exploring, and I'm like, hey, look, that mountain has a single tree on top of it. I wonder what's up there. I managed to get my ass up there, get a Korok seed. Huh. There's a really big mountain over there. Let's go check that out. And I climbed that one. Oh, look, there's another thing. Huh. There's a bunch of clouds near the top of that one. I get closer. There's some weird colors in that
Yep.
Is that what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
I assume you're talking about Nadra.
Yep, I climb each mountain, I get closer, I'm like, Lucas, what the fuck is that thing? And so I get closer and closer and closer. I find a dragon on top of this mountain. Nothing was ever talking about it. I took the southern way, so I didn't even see the path from the village up there.
Same.
Like, the only reason I was able to survive was because I found a great magma blade. And that kept me warm enough, which I started the thing, like I started fighting the dragon, and I accidentally threw my magma sword. It bounced off her foot, and then she just sideswiped me, and I ragdolled off the mountain and died.
When I discovered Nadra was a different way, where after Inva gave me the memories, I was trying to look for the one that was by the gateway near a mountain. And I'm like, well, there's a snowy mountain up near north of Hatano village. Let's go up there. I climb up this mountain very slowly, and this is still very early in the game. Like, I have 4 hearts. So the Lizalfos is up there, one-shot me. So, luckily, the Lizalfos aren't entirely smart, but, like, if they get one swing, I'm dead, you know? It's like Dark Souls. I can play well for 5 minutes, but the minute I slip up for 1 second, it's over. So I was just running up there, cold as fuck. I discovered the accidental way, or the hard way, that if you eat a different buff food, it overwrites your earlier buff. They don't stack. So after I ate hot food, I ate a defense up thing to fight the Lizalfos, and then I started freezing to death. I'm like, shit. So after beating all of them and getting up the fucking thing, because there's some on the south path too for some fucking goddamn reason, I get up there and see this fucking dragon with eyeballs all over it. I'm like, the fuck is this? This isn't the memory. So then I fight it, and so when you initiate this little fight, how it flies right in to shoot all the eyeballs off of it and use the winds to like fly up and do it, I used every single arrow I had. I used the very last arrow to shoot the final eyeball, and I'm like, finally it's fucking over. And then the statue's like, now, shoot one last arrow into nature to finish this quest. And I'm like, fuck you. Yeah. Kill yourself. I had to fast travel all the way back to Hatano Village, buy arrows, then climb all the way back up the mountain and shoot nature one more time to finish the quest.
But, like, it's fantastic because I'm just exploring.
There's a thing right there for you, how the game doesn't hold your hand. It didn't even give you any arrows for that quest. If you come unprepared like me like that, you just go all the way back and get some more and try again.
Exactly. The game just gives you these situations.
The game trusts that you're competent enough to use whatever tools that you know or have on you for situations. That's why there's like a shitload of different ways to solve puzzles and get through enemies.
A good example of this, I went, all I've explored of the game myself personally, in like, I want to say 80 hours, has been the southeast through the north. I've just explored like that third of the map. I explored a little bit of the south, and there was like it was like a rainforest, and I went in there. I didn't have the Zora armor, so I couldn't climb waterfalls. So here's how I did it. I would take cryosis and slowly build my way across it in like a stair-step pattern. I would jump, climb the ice, put another 3 up, jump, climb the ice, and I would do that to scale these things because it was constantly raining. I couldn't,
Which, by the way, there's one of the flaws of the game. When it rains, you pretty much have to stop playing the game for like 5 minutes. They could fuck right off.
It's really annoying, but I get it because it's a rainforest. Really cool moment I had when it was raining. I was doing the Akala research lab, and you need to light the blue flame. I'm right outside of the thing. It starts raining, and my torch goes out. And so I'm like, shit. And there's like 3 things of rain coming up. So I'm like, oh crap. What can I do here? I know. So I went to the top of the research lab, and there was a funny little gimmick. Like there was a lawn chair and an umbrella up there. And I was able to light a fire under the umbrella because there was protection from the rain. Mm-hmm. And I just waited till night. Which is something even The Witcher 3 didn't do. Because in The Witcher 3, when it rains, people inside houses are still wet. So, I mean, that was pretty fantastic. It reminds me of Red Dead Redemption in a way. Where there would be these small moments of things just happening because you come across them, or certain situations get like when I fought
the travelers that get attacked by bokoblins.
Through the what now?
Like when you can walk around the fucking roads, you can see travelers get attacked by bokoblins and like defending themselves and shit. You can help them out, and they'll give you shit if you save them.
Yeah, or like the game doesn't stop you from going in any direction, really.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a like a silver moblin over there, but if you play smart, you can get around that.
You have a lot of options, and you can get as many tools as you want for any situation.
And speaking of tools, let's talk about durability and how I think it's actually a pretty good idea. They did it very well.
Same.
For once. Like, you look at Dark Souls, that had durability, literally never came up for me.
Yeah, because you just repair your shit all the time.
Point? Yeah, like it repairs when you're at a fucking bonfire.
The only time I've seen the durability in Dark Souls ever play an account is Dark Souls 2 on PC when it was bugged. If you had a higher frame rate, the durability would drain twice as fast. So in Dark Souls 2, when the game was like out for the first few years, you always had to have like 4 weapons equipped to your slots at all times to swap when they broke.
It's a feature.
I hated Dark Souls 2. I put so many... I'll do an episode about that some other day. Let's keep going about Breath of the Wild.
But the durability, at first I was like, this is really annoying. Because the first few weapons you get have very, very low
You just get a bunch of Bokoblin clubs. They're wooden and shit. They break really quick.
Like that, I kind of wish they gave you more, like less damage. But, like there was the Traveler's Sword. But I wish there was like another kind of thing like that where it was... low damage but higher durability, so that you didn't have to constantly swap it out in the beginning of the game.
I don't know. I didn't have that much of a problem early on. See, what I really like about the durability thing is that it gives you reason to actually use a shitload of other weapons, as well as good ones and bad ones. You can give yourself some kind of challenge. Like say, like, oh, I have my Edge of Duality, I think it's called, the 50 damage two-handed sword. But why would I waste that on this enemy? You can go stock up on like a spiked Bokoblin club or two and use that to fight your way through while you save your good weapons for later.
And I really, really enjoyed when weapons broke. They would deal double damage and usually
knock the enemy back.
Knock the weapon. They would knock the weapon out of the enemy. So you can grab that thing, and they get real mad about it.
Mm-hmm, which is cute. Enemies have a lot of personality and pretty good AI in this game, I've noticed, too. Like, if you throw a boomerang at all the Zalfos, because they're the ones who made those boomerangs, they can catch them and use them against you.
Oh, damn. I've only ever thrown them against the skeleton ones, who already had something in their hands, so they never caught it.
Yeah, but also the Zalfos can make all the boomerang weapons. Their arms count as boomerangs and come back if you throw them.
Because they got the elbow thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so the durability is nice. It forces you to keep changing your weapons.
Here's the thing. It's bad at the start of the game when you have 4 fucking weapon slots. But as you get Korok seeds and upgrade it at the fucking whatever his name was, the big Korok.
Hetsu.
Yeah, Hetsuo, I think that is Hetsu. When you upgrade your inventory, then it becomes a fucking non-issue because you'll have so many goddamn weapons. Like I've had this 2-handed Great Flame Blade and these 2 Ancient Battle Axe ++s for the past, like, almost 20 hours of gameplay. I haven't used them yet. I've been just saving them. I've been going through smaller weapons constantly. Because you'll have enough space to keep the good ones for later when you really need them for, like, a boss fight or something, and then go through your trash weapons. You'll have your own little system once you upgrade it enough.
See, it doesn't become saying it becomes a non-issue...
It becomes a lesser of an issue, I should say.
The only time it was a problem is in the early game where you have weapons that break against one enemy.
Yeah, when you have all those shitty Moblin spears and Bokoblin fucking clubs. I remember how hype as fuck I was when... okay, so when I played the game, I made the stupid mistake of doing Gerudo Desert first. Now, Gerudo Desert is full of fucking lizards and heat. Now, again, they're not that powerful, but when you only have like 4 or 5 hearts, they're gonna fucking kill you. And it's fucking hot. So you go through this place. I climb up through the fucking Gerudo Canyon Valley or whatever it's called. And I see all these fucking lizards. I see blue ones and black ones. Like, these are the first ones I come by. I haven't even found a regular Zalfos yet. So after like 10 attempts, I finally kill them all and get their fucking boomerangs. And they do like 24 fucking damage. Meanwhile, I was using like 10 damage Bokoblin clubs before then. I was so hype.
You're using Bokoblins and bomb cubes and shit.
I wasn't even using the bombs. I'm not smart enough to do that. I keep forgetting I have the bomb power half the fucking time.
I use the bomb power all the time to knock enemies away. Like, I'll place it behind me as like a mine when I'm running and shit.
Mm-hmm. Another good thing you could do that's really smart is when enemies are either sleeping or they're just like partying, try to sneak in or just use a bomb and just blow their weapons away. That way when they're activated, they'll have to take longer to run to their weapons. Or another smart tactic is to say, have a Korok leaf on you, grab their weapon, and then drop the Korok leaf in their place, and their AI will still go to pick up a weapon, but it's going to be a fucking Korok leaf, and they're going to do like no damage to you.
I love the Korok leaf.
It's a fucking meme weapon.
I didn't realize how good it was because you don't hit people with it. If you hit people with it, it dies immediately.
Yeah.
But you just charge it up, and then you whoosh, and you blow them away, or you blow all their equipment away.
It's a utility weapon. Also, if you're using those rafts, if you're a loser who uses those...
Hey, I use rafts.
I only used a raft once to get to that island. Okay, so another really hype thing. Okay, so there are these things called shrines. They're like these little mini puzzles or dungeons that you do. I don't even call them dungeons. There's these little puzzle rooms that you do to get fucking orbs that you can use to upgrade your health or stamina once you have enough of them. Some are outside in the world, and the puzzle is getting to the shrine itself, either through a big maze or in this island way south of the map that when you land on it, takes away all of your equipment, and you have to survive on this island and get these 3 like orbs in order to activate the shrine and then get the fucking reward.
See, I enjoyed this one a lot. So you arrive, it takes all of your things away, all you have is your...
Oh, also it's raining there, so you can't
weapons.
climb and cheese shit either.
Well, it's raining sometimes.
Oh, I thought it rains permanently, because it was raining, like, forever when I tried it.
It rains very often.
Then I guess I was just unlucky.
And that's important, and there's a reason for it. So, you arrive at this place, you've got nothing, there's some spears on, like, there's some bokoblins, they're eating fish, there's some wooden spears on there. You start from zero.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some real dangerous areas, like there's the mud, and in the middle of the mud is like a woodcutter's axe.
And don't forget there's a fucking blue Hinox guarding the island.
Yeah, there's like 3 kind of trials you have to do. There's a Hinox, which are these giant enemies that have a ton of health, which is very, that's really hard to fight when you don't have your equipment.
When you have a 2 damage, really easy breakable bokoblin spear, now the blue Hinox is super hard.
Exactly. You're putting, and no armor, so he hits you once, you're gonna die. So like, you go in there, you have to solve 3 trials. There's one where you kind of gotta sneak up on top of this thing to grab a orb and throw it into a spot. There's one of them that's just like in the jungle. It's like lightly guarded. That one's not very hard. And then there's one around the Hinox next. You have to, get that, put it into its spot. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going through. I get the first one. There's Octoroks on here, which are very, like, everything in the island is important to have. You can use all of it to get your way through. Like, what I did was, I did the one in the forest first. I went and I killed a bunch of Octoroks, got their balloons. I used that to, I used the balloons on a tree trunk because I didn't have the stamina without my climber's outfit to climb, because I couldn't sneak past the guys at the top of the canyon. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it. So I thought, okay, I have the stamina if I start from about halfway there. So I went and I got the rusty shield. I would parry the Octoroks, smack the rocks back at them, pick up their balloons, chop down a tree with the axe I found, move it to I was lucky because it fell pretty close to it, and I would use that. I would attach an Octorok balloon to both sides. It would lift me up. I would jump and paraglide right to where I needed to do, climb up to the top. They immediately spotted me anyway, but it was raining now, and so it started thundering, and there was a giant moblin chasing me, holding a shield and sword, and just zip, zip, zip. He gets struck by lightning.
Oh, that's another mechanic, is during lightning storms, metal equipment, whether it's armor or weapons, will be zapped by lightning. This includes things that the enemy's holding and even metal treasure chests. So use that to your advantage.
Yes. So here's what I did. I knew that this sword kept getting hit by lightning, so I'm like, shit, okay. I'm going to take Magnesis. I'm going to pick this sword up. I'm going to move it over to these moblins, drop it on them. Lightning strikes it. I used Magnesis because I didn't want to get near this fucking thing, and I was using it to kill these enemies from lightning strikes.
The game gives you all the tools you need, and you just got to figure it out yourself. And then look how smart you felt from doing that on your own, doing this fucking unconventional shit.
I felt like a badass. I was like, hell yeah. And then I died to the Hinox because I was distracted and I didn't want to do the thing for the 4th fucking time, so I just abandoned that shrine.
Yeah, I abandoned that shrine too. Don't worry. I'll come back to it some other day.
I had a really fantastic... All right, so the first time that I ever had lightning strike, I was holding a Lazal boomerang. which is a metal boomerang, and it was the only weapon I had. I'm like, huh, what's that sound? Oh shit, this thing's gonna get struck by lightning. Oh, I better throw this boomerang. And then it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and like I'm running away, and it lands right in front of me. It goes, you throw because I didn't know that this is how boomerangs worked. I thought you had to charge it and spin around or something. So I throw it using the R button. It comes back, lands in front of me. Lightning strikes. I die. And I was like, that was fucking awesome. Fantastic. This game is made entirely of shit like that. The only thing the thing that they don't do is that they don't pick up items when you throw them.
I like that you have to manually catch them when they come back, because now they're just like dropped items when they're being thrown.
Which is awesome.
But we've been talking about the gameplay and how much we love it. I want to let you know one thing, is the reason that this game is so different is because 12 of the 24 developers, literally half the team, are actually the team that made Xenoblade Chronicles. So half the entire team was just completely different people, which is why the game's so different.
From what I understand, Xenoblade Chronicles is like a huge open-world RPG.
I never played Xenoblade Chronicles. I originally don't know anything about it outside that it's got Really Feeling It Boy in it.
Lay Really Feeling It Boy of immense counter damage.
Local boy is really feeling it. So sorry, Xenoblade fans, if I upset you, but I just legitimately don't know anything about that series.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the little bit of the story in this game. And one of the things I just wanted to cover really fast is these guys called the Yiga Clan, and I fucking love them so much. So, the Sheikah clan in this game is not dead after 1,000 years for once. The Sheikah clan are just a bunch of these weeaboos who live up in this little mountain village that you can get to with Impa. And there was a split at some point in time where the Sheikah clan went and stayed loyal to Hyrule, and then the Yiga clan are evil Sheikah who wear red and have upside-down eye symbols, and they work for Ganondorf. In the Gerudo Desert, you find a shitload of them, and it's fucking awesome. So, like, they're assassins that are trying to kill you, so they disguise on the road as travelers. You walk up and you talk to this guy, he's like, hey, the first one that I found in the Gerudo Canyon, this is how I was introduced to them, is like, hey, buddy, you want to join the Yiga clan? You're like, what's the Yiga clan? He's like, we're a bunch of trained assassins hired to kill the hero, like you! And then he turns into a Yiga and fights me.
See, I had a pretty funny story about that, but I'll wait until you're done here for my first Yiga experience.
Oh, because I want to finish it with my favorite Yiga experience, the one that I think you might be talking about. But, so, through the Gerudo Valley, you hear them mentioned a bunch, you see them, you do this quest with them, and, I'm not gonna spoil it because I don't think Tad's gone that far yet, but you go to their fucking hideout, and they have a boss battle there that, so far, I think is the only regular outside world full-on boss, not mini-boss, that isn't repeated anywhere. I think he's, like, the only unique boss that works like this, and I don't know why. But, like, he's just there. It's not a Divine Beast boss. It's not a fucking mini-boss. He's just a unique boss in this little area, in this quest line. And none of the other quest lines have stuff like that in that. But it's really cool. And he's, like, everyone's favorite. My favorite Yiga assassin thing, outside of their design and everything, and the fact that whenever you kill them, they drop bananas, is, one of the travelers I found on the road was, telling me this story, this huge line of dialogue, where he's just like, so I was out in the middle of the woods the other night, and I just saw this big bright flash of light. Next thing I know, I'm strapped to this bed in this weird metallic room, and you're like, huh, that's interesting. He's like, I know, but it didn't even feel like a bed, it was like some weird thing, a gel. And then another bright flash of light, and then I came out and I was just here, in the middle of nowhere. Have you ever heard a story like that before? You're like, yes, actually I have. Yeah, know who told me that story? My master Koga. Prepare to die, hero! And he turns into a fucking Yiga and fights me. This like just went on this huge story just so that he could fight me.
Because that's what the intro to the game is. You wake up on this weird bed, and then you leave with this bright flash of light, and then you go out into the world.
It's fucking great. I love this goddamn game so much. But what was your Yiga experience?
So I followed the quote-unquote main quest to head east, go between the mountains, go to Kakariko Village.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to the first stable. And next to the stable are wild horses. There's no Epona in this game unless you use an amiibo to get her. And you have to sneak up on the horses, or in my case, say fuck that, hit them with an ice arrow, and then just wait for them to thaw and jump on their back.
So again, you used an unconventional method.
Yeah, because I'm like, fuck this. I ain't going to chase these or sneak. I'm a busy man. So I use something to my advantage. But, I calm the horse down. I go and I go back to the stable riding this horse. I make it mine. I call him Yamaro because...
I don't even mind Broker.
Memes. My horse was green. And this is important, actually, I think important. And he had, like, maximum power. He had 1 star
The
on
horse's,
speed.
like, what? Do you call horses hair fur? The horse's fur, I guess, is kind of an indicator of how good their stats are. Like, I think pure-colored horses are really good or something. And then spotted ones are, like, shitty.
But, like, he was, you know, he had maximum power and strength, but 1 speed and, like, 1 temper.
So he's
he
awful.
was just pissed off. He was an angry horse, but he was mine. Yamaro! I would say every time he defied me. Because, like, wild horses, when you tame them, they don't like you that much. If you're trying to go forward, they're like, no, I don't wanna. And you gotta correct them and soothe them. So I continued on my way to Kakariko, and there was a villager after this. This dude was just standing here after the bridge. He's like, hey, what's up? You want to join the Yiga clan? And I tried to say, no, I don't care. He's like, well, you're the hero. And then he tried to fight me. So I jumped off my horse by pressing B to hop up in the air. You know, I used my arrows in the air and I slowed down, hit him once, dropped to the ground. He accidentally hit my horse when he did his dash. The horse rears up, kicks him in the fucking face right into the river, and he immediately dies. And that was the first time I found a Yiga. He just gets kicked in the dick by my horse and immediately dies. That horse, I stayed with Yamaro until I accidentally drove him off a cliff.
See, I stabled 2 horses and I never rode a horse ever again because I legitimately hate the horse riding in this game. It is so awful. Because if they ride up to like a 2-foot hill, they'll just whinny and then turn around. It's like, fuck off and jump, you piece of shit. Like, I hate that they just refuse to listen to me. And they're max friendship, by the way. It's just it's legitimately just a gameplay mechanic, so you don't, you know, accidentally run your horse off a cliff and die or something, like someone I know. But it's annoying that it applies to fucking bunny hills. I would rather just run than use a stupid fucking horse.
That's because you use a glitch called whistle running.
Whistle sprinting is actually slightly slower than regularly sprinting. The real meme, the speedrun meme, is to sprint until you're just barely out of stamina. Like you have 1 little red sliver left, then start whistle sprinting so your stamina recovers, and then go back to regularly sprinting. Rinse and repeat.
Jesus.
That's what I've been doing. That's how I've gotten around the entire world for the past, like, 20-something hours. It's awesome.
But what happened with my horse was Yamaro, I was fighting a Hinox, and I jumped off the horse. I was going to hit him in the eye. I ran out of stamina, and I dropped down. Or no, I hit him with the eye, and I did a drop down with, like, the Great Flame Blade. Hit my horse, went, oh, shit, whoopsie, backed up, hit my horse again with a boomerang, and then it just died on me. And I was like, oh, wait, can my horse actually die? He just flops over on his side.
Yes.
And so I'm like, damn.
Horses can die, and near one of the stables is the thing called, for the people out there, the Horse God, which you can pay 1,000 rupees to revive your favorite horse if it died.
Ooh, neat. I didn't
So
know
don't
that.
worry
So
if
I
you
can get
lose
Yammer.
Epona, you can go get her back.
So then I'm like, okay, I beat this Hinox. I got all my items from him. Okay, well, I'm gonna head back to my stable and get my other horse, which I think I called him Greeno, because it was I only ride green horses,
You only ride little Shreks.
the little Shrek horses, and so I'm like, okay, I was just starting to go north of Hateno and all that, the eastern area, Kakariko, all that shit, and so I'm going to the tower, and it's inside of this fort that's swarming with guardians. And so I had the camera low, and I'm going full speed, just chugga 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 chugga, full speed towards the bridge that connects it. And then I see a moblin, and so I'm going full speed. I jump off my horse, realize that there's no bridge there; it's gone. And my horse
you're
just,
in Akala.
Whoop. Yep, my horse he went forward, hit the moblin. The moblin smacked him. He went right off the fucking cliff and died. And then I was without a horse, and I just decided maybe I don't deserve one. I'm going to leave them alone now.
Just whistle sprint like a real speedrunner.
But the music when you ride the music in this game, I fucking love it. You don't like it as
No.
much.
I like the music in this game. I just hate the main battle theme. It just sounds like random percussion instruments all at once.
Just I love it. So the music in this game is very, very, if you'll pardon the normie language here, low key. And what it is because this game wants to give you this impression of this is a giant, a giant world. You're isolated here. The camera's really far back. The music's very downplayed. You just hear yourself exploring. It's to give you this sense of isolation. So the music reflects that by just being very quiet, very in the background. When combat starts, it's like it just seamlessly blends in there. It's like dun 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 bum dun. It just plays into the music. It just plays into the game. I like it. It's very short, like little. I think there's like 2 skull trumpets in it, and it's just very, very short. You're not. It's enough in the background that you notice that there's music going on. It's kind of hard to describe. Like, you notice that there's combat happening, but it's still like way back.
I don't know. I hear it very loudly over the combat, and it annoys me. But there's a benefit to this. Now, I like all the other music in this game. Fantastic. It's great. Like, Cass's theme is great. The fucking stable theme, which I think his opponent's theme, is pretty fucking good. I was accidentally spoiled by some idiot on the internet what one of the Ganon phase fight themes is, and it's fucking beautiful. But my favorite theme, and this might be an odd choice, is remember the Taloses, the big rock monster golem things? Those mini bosses? Yes. I love their battle theme.
Their battle theme's pretty fantastic. I have a fun story about 2 Talos fights.
I have a good one too.
So I've encountered, there's 3 notable Talos fights I've had. The first one was I was just fucking around in the plateau, and all of a sudden, dun 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 dun, and I just see these rocks form together, and I'm like, oh fuck, and I immediately ran away. And I kept trying to throw bombs at them, because all I had was sticks and a torch. But the Taloses are just giant rock golems. They've got a gem weak spot on their back that you hit, and then you break them, and they explode into tons of gems and shit.
They're worth a lot of money.
Exactly. And so there was 2 notable fights. I was way east on Hatino. I was on the beach. All right, and I go into this cove, and it starts storming. And then a Talos appears in this like knee-deep water. So I'm moving very slow, and it's raining, which is important because I can't climb him. Because my Lucas pissed away all of my fucking arrows, so I couldn't shoot him in the back, make him fall over, and jump on top of him. I had to Shadow of the Colossus this shit by jumping on his arms, pressing B to leap, and get on top of there, and then like on this slippery rock man, keep trying to hit him on the back, and it was fucking awesome. And this was recent. I was up in, I'm just now exploring Death Mountain, and I mean, you haven't been there, so this will be kind of a spoiler for you.
Go ahead, I don't care, dude. I was accidentally spoiled on one of Ganon's fucking phase themes.
But I was exploring Death Mountain, and I get into this area, and all of a sudden I hear the dun 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 dun. I'm like, wait a second. And I turn around, and he's made out of molten rock. And I'm like, wait a second. I can't hit that thing on his back if he's made out of molten rock. So I'm like, shit. I start throwing boomerangs at it. I can't use bomb arrows. It's so hot on Death Mountain, I took out a bomb arrow, immediately exploded, because it was so fucking hot.
The elements of the environment can actually affect your arrows. Like using a fire arrow in the ice climate will put out the fire and make it a normal arrow. Shit like that. It's really cool.
And so I'm like, okay, alright, I took out a normal arrow, it's on fire, does a very small amount of damage because it's so fucking hot. The arrow bursts into flames when you shoot it. So I'm like, okay, ice arrow. Take the ice arrow, I shoot him in the face. Cools down the rock. I'm able to jump on top of him and get onto his back now because I cooled him down with the ice arrow. And then, I beat him up and he dropped like a bunch of amber and ruby and shit. But it was just like, because I tried all these different tactics, I'm like, okay, hold on. What makes sense here? The game didn't have a pop-up that said, oh, try shooting the magma Talos.
Get up on the Talos' back!
Exactly. Also, there's little tiny rock dudes. And I think their name is Peblet, but I just call them Teeny Talos.
Yeah, you just pick them up and throw them and they explode. They're easy, or just bomb them. They're really easy to kill, but they're cute.
Can pick them up.
But don't get hit by them because for whatever reason they have the same knockback power as a big Talos, and you just go flying. I found an ice one climbing up to fight Nadra for the first time. Or after I got the arrows, just climbed back up on the road this time. I'm like, oh, it's a cute one. I should have picked it up, but he's too cold to pick up. I'm like, wait, what do I do? And it just punches me off the mountain. I have to glide back and climb back up.
I didn't know you could pick them up. At night, there will be skeletal versions of enemies. There'll be skeleton moblins, skeleton bokoblins.
Yeah, Stalfos bullshit.
And what I would always do, and I still do this, is that I will hit them and they'll collapse. And I'll just pick up their heads, find the nearest inconvenient spot and kick him off it, and just watch him fall.
But my favorite Talos fight that I thought was climbing up the dueling peaks. There's a Talos up there, and I climb up, and the fucking theme starts. The fucking GameCube startup theme starts playing, because that's what it fucking sounds like at one point. And it's just and it fucking forms like, oh shit. He fucking like I hit him. I hit him with his half down to health, and I fall, and he shakes, and I fall off. And I fucking turn around. He fucking backhands me off the mountain, but I recover midair, like paraglide back in there, and go back to fighting him. It like felt so fucking cool to just fly back in there and keep the fight going.
There's only one other game I could think of where, and remember, it's super important to have mobility options in an open world game, just because you've got to have variety. Like in Zelda, in this you've got sprinting, you've got walking, you've got horses, you've got paragliding,
you've got whistle sprinting.
You can light a fire and get an updraft to fly through the air.
You could fucking shield surf too.
You can shield surf. When it's raining, you'll shield surf much, much better. If you try to shield surf on rock, like you jump and put your shield on your feet and slide down hills and shit, It won't work very well because it's rock. It ain't gonna slide very well.
It also lowers the durability of your shield quite immensely. Oh, fuck! I want to talk about this one mini boss that I fought. It's a slight spoiler for you, but can I do it? Because it's a very hype fight.
Sure.
Okay, so in Gerudo Desert, there's a unique mini boss in that area called a Molduga. It's a big sandfish thing.
Oh. Is it like a worm that like jumps up through the sand and shit? Because I think those were in Link to the Past.
Oh, I figured they were enemies from a game I probably haven't played, because I've only played a few Zeldas. So I have a quest from this one Gerudo lady who's like, I need Molduga guts to get an antidote for my husband. And you said to do it, so I go to the south area, and then I just see a health bar pop up, but no, and I'm like, oh shit, it's a Molduga. Where the fuck is it? And it just pops out of the water, like, behind me. Like, it doesn't hit me, but it's like the cinematic thing almost. It just comes over and try to get me. I'm like, oh shit. So the tactic is to leave a bomb on the ground, because they'll sense it, like a fucking Tremors alien, and then eat it, explode, and then flop on their side, and you can go hit them for free, and then get back on your sand seal and swim around. Because you have to ride a standstill to go fast, because, like, if you run, they're too fast, and they'll come and eat you for, like, fucking 15 hearts. Oh, I'll also launch you very high in the air.
So, what you're saying is that there's a use for it, so that you can traverse the desert.
Well, there's not much in the desert that it's really high up, Ted. It's a fucking desert. So, I didn't know that, though. So, how I felt the Molduga was, like, the hypest shit. So I'm on the sandsteel, riding super fucking fast, and using arrows to draw it out, because the arrow still prockets, like, attention. I'm using, like, arrows to draw it out, and I'm too scared to fight it, so, like go up and hit it. So even when I get it out of the fucking ground, I'm just, like, moving at, like, fucking light speed, trying to control this fucking seal while I'm surfing and shooting this giant fish monster that's chasing behind me. It was so fucking cool, like, the music and how fast you were going. And, like, if you hit a fucking wall, because there's these little, like, hills that, like, your standstill can't swim across, and neither can the Molduga, like, little safe spots. But if you're not looking and you hit one, your seal will fucking just hit, like, get, like, dizzied, and then you'll be like, oh, shit, and you'll, like, come to a dead stop, and the Molduga will catch up to you. It's so fucking hype, and I love that mini-boss fight. And I'm unfortunate...
Did you say sand seal?
Sand seal. It's a seal that swims through the sand.
Oh. Continue.
You use a shield to shield surf with a rope attached to it, and you, like, fucking ski across the sand. You don't use a horse in the desert, in Gerudo Desert. You use the seals.
Neat.
It's awesome. They're fucking fast, and they're awesome as shit. I should go do the mini-quest to race them. But, unfortunately, that mini-boss is actually the easiest one to fight, despite its intimidating size, because of the bomb trick. You can just keep dropping bombs and cheese the fucking thing. And I'm sad that someone told me that, because the fucking fight was hyped as fuck before that.
Like, for me, I didn't know that, well, I guess I just didn't have the option to shoot that Talos with the arrows. I had to, like...
I wouldn't think that shooting a rock with an arrow was going to be a critical hit that knocks it over. It's a fucking rock.
Yeah. I would just bomb his legs and arms with bombs, and then he would fall. He would do a face plant to get his shit back, and then I would jump on him and climb him Shadow of the Colossus style.
But I mentioned I wanted to talk about the story earlier, but I fucking I heard talking about the Yiga about how much I love those guys.
Just like Breath of the Wild, you were going to do something caught your eye, and you went and you fucked off for 30 minutes.
Yep, pretty much.
To Legend of Zelda, something catches your eye, you go and you fuck off and do that for a while.
Every, like, area for this, like, every, like, zone has, like, a little small, like, story quest to do. Some are longer than others. Like, say, the Rito Village. I went there, picked up the quest to go to the Divine Beast, and finished it all in about 20 minutes. that area sucked shit. Legitimately, the quest is you talk to the elder who's an owl who says, go talk to this guy over there, and he's like, hey, do my minigame. You're like, well, I guess you're a pretty bad enough dude. Let's go fight the divine beast. Done. You do it in like 5 fucking minutes. But something like, say, the Zora questline starts off with you just finding these Zoras outside of like East Hyrule.
Yeah, because the game, it's part of like the main kind of quest. It's kind of like, because the game doesn't, like, okay, so let me back up to where I was, because this ties into the Zora stuff. I went and I did the dragon stuff, and then I'm like, okay, hold on. So I say, I beat the dragon, I got the frost thing, I got, a special item from it. Then I went back down, I'm like, oh, I should probably continue this thing, went to the research lab, got the thing updated, got all that shit set up. And then Impa was like, okay, here, go get your memories. Okay, that's it. And then, it didn't give me a new quest. But when I was running around doing stuff, I came across the Zoras in the river. And even then, before that, people were like, I would talk to people in the stable. And they're like, if you head north a bit, there's some Zoras in Zora's domain. The game kind of nudges you to go towards this area without forcing you.
It doesn't force you or spell it out. It just says, hey, there's a dude up there. He looks kind of interesting, I guess. And then they just go back to their own business. They just kind of mention him once or twice.
But the game kind of nudges you to go to Zora's domain first. And it's also, I guess, kind of the easier one because it's only Lizalfos there.
Pretty much. It rains a lot when you first get there because of what the Divine Beast is doing, so you can't really climb anything. That area does sort of direct you with the Zoras and then the fucking rain, because you can't really go and climb around and skip shit because it's fucking raining.
And even then, you could still do it.
It's just hard.
Still climb it. Yeah, you could still be like, nah, fuck you. I'm taking Upper Zorana. And go around, take the long way to fucking sneak your way in there.
All of the races, the redesigns for the Zora and then the fucking Rito, who also exist in the same universe, I guess now, look fucking amazing. I don't think anyone hates these designs right now. The Zoras being shark people look sick, and the Rito are just actual birds now. Okay, so those little characters, the champions in the cutscenes or whatever, the main story of the game is everyone's fucking dead. You lost. You all tried to fight Ganon, and you all suck shit. And all the champions got killed within the Divine Beast that they were trying to pilot. So you gotta go in there, fight the boss, and then free the spirit. Some champions are better characters than others, like Rivali, or Ravioli as people call him, the bird. Much like the rest of that area, sucks shit and is very forgettable. He's just, hey, look at me, I'm not Falco. The Gerudo lady was okay, she's pretty standard. And then there's Mifa, the fucking stupid waifu bait character. Now, one of the things I like, despite her being waifu bait, is that for once in a Zelda game, Link doesn't get with Zelda. It turns out that Link, I guess, lived with the Zoras at some point because everyone there knows who he is by name, and a lot of them are his friends from the past that just grew up because Zoras live a long time. And apparently, Link actually was in a relationship with Princess Mifa, or Princess Bepis, as me and my friends call her now, because we misspelled her name once. And I think that's really interesting. They did something different for once. He's not with Zelda, he's with some stupid fish. It's, like everything else, a breath of fresh air. So, Ted, what is your favorite weapon to use?
My favorite weapon to use? Boomerang.
Boomerang? Okay. So my favorite weapon, and I'm biased because I like these enemies, is the fucking Wind Cleaver.
Ooh.
The Wind Cleaver is the big two-handed katana that the strong Yiga Swordmasters drop. This thing, it's a 40 damage two-hander, which is pretty average. But it has relatively decent durability, it's pretty mid-tier. But what it is that the Wind Cleaver has the power of the wind enchanted onto it. The enemies use it, and so can you, as you charge up an attack, and you can fucking fire wind gusts at enemies when you use it. And, slash at them. It's super fucking cool. If you've ever fought one of the big guys, you'll see them use it and shit. And I just think that's really cool that, hey, you get to use the enemy's abilities against them. Also, it's one of the few weapons I've noticed in the game that actually comes with a sheath. The Master Sword has a sheath, and the fucking... that has a sheath. I haven't really found anything else that has one yet.
There is, from a shrine, I got a giant 8-fold blade, which is a katana that...
I've gotten one of those things.
Sticks it in there, and then lets it go like a fucking full weeb slice.
Alright, so there's another one. But I think it's super cool. It looks cool. Yeah, the weapon's cool, and the enemies that drop it are also really cool. Another thing I wanted to cover about this game is there is a couple of flaws. This game, to me, that this game isn't entirely perfect. Like, we talk about the exploration and shit, but as Tad mentioned earlier, he's like, ooh, I climbed this big tree. Hey, look, there was a Korok up there. There are 900 Koroks in this game. 99% of the time you go and explore something, you're always going to end up with, oh, hey, it was a Korok. You start to not give a shit. After you found the 100th Korok, you don't care about the 800 more that are all spread around here under this rock or under that bush or in that rock formation or up that tree. You don't care anymore. You have enough inventory slots, you don't want them all. In fact, you only need 441 of those Koroks to max out your inventory. What you get when you get all 900 is a big golden turd that allows you to do Hetsu's dance when you want it to. And that's it. It's a piece of shit. A literal piece of shit. And much like the exploration with the Koroks, when you go and you see a shrine, it's like, cool, time for this little quick puzzle, thanks for the orb. There's 120 shrines. Again, past the 30th shrine or so, you kind of get sick of them, because they all look and sound the same, and some puzzles
That's not true.
And some puzzles are shittier than others. Now, here's the thing. I love the shrines like the maze one or the island where you had to get to the shrine, because, one, it's a little different than the other ones, and two, I really like when it says, by finding the shrine, you have already proven your worth. It makes me feel like a fucking badass.
The shrines vary. There's some that you just get there, and it's like, hey, you found this shrine. Here you go.
Yeah, and there's some that are like quick puzzles. There's some that are bullshit, like the Star Constellation puzzle that everyone shits on a lot. I figured that one out eventually, but the one that I hated the most was the Dueling Peaks co-op, the duo shrines. I hated that one.
See, I liked that one. I thought it was awesome because you had to go to one shrine. It had the puzzle there. I opened up MS Paint. I would make a 5x5 grid. I took the orange tool, pop, 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 pop. Took the blue tool, pop, 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 pop. Compared it to the one on the other peak and just got both of those done. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. The best shrines, I think, are the puzzle ones that are like Half-Life 2 physics-based. So one of the early puzzles you get to do if you're following...
Those are the ones you can have the most fun with, though, and get the most unique kind of, like, solutions.
Here's two of them that I can think of right off the bat. One, it's if you follow the main quest, you'll come across this one, and it's like a maze. A ball drops down into the maze. You got to guide along there, and you got to push it over there. So there was two solutions I did to this. One, I was like, okay, I'm gonna curve this maze and have the balls drop in the middle instead of taking it through this fucking maze, and I'm gonna try and flip it over there. Eventually, I got tired of that and like, okay, fuck this. I turned the gamepad upside down and swung it like a bat to hit the ball as it fell out to knock it into the area. Because I was like, fuck this. And I just turned it upside down, ignored the entire puzzle, use the gamepad like a baseball bat, and smack the ball in there.
See, what a lot of people do is you'll see like videos or webums of this, is that they'll just flip the maze upside down so it's flat surface and just solve the puzzle immediately. Yep.
And like the game lets you do this. If it was an older Zelda, they would have been like, you could only turn it this far or this far. You can't flip it upside down. Another solution I had to a puzzle was there was this hill and there's a bunch of rocks falling down. You had to like time your way between them. I was like, stasis, sledgehammer, smack, 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 smack. Let go of stasis, and it just knocked all the other balls out of the way, and it cleared out that entire section. And I just went, yep.
See, I had a similar thing where there's that one puzzle where it was the orb you have to carry across the conveyor belts. So what I did was I stasis the orb and just knocked it over across the fucking pit and then just walked across the conveyor belt.
Instead of...
I didn't feel like doing it.
It's great because they let you find your own ways to solve these puzzles, and you feel really smart and cool when you find an unconventional way to do it.
My favorite puzzle solving is when guys will just get, like, say if you have one of those, it's any type of puzzle that allows you to move a block, like a metal crate or anything, or like a ball. What they do is they get all the octoballoons, attach it to the fucking top of whatever object you can move, and just fly to the top of the puzzle and just jump over whatever gate is stopping you. Octoballoons are really useful.
All right, so I felt like we were saying this through this whole fucking episode, the game makes you feel really, really smart when you do cool stuff.
Because it lets you do whatever you want.
Like I was in the jungle area, and there were these flat slabs of rocks over these pits, and I'm like, there's something in here. Let's try a Korok leaf. Let's try a bomb. There's one item I use that I haven't touched before because I haven't found a use for it. And I took an octoballoon, threw it on there, it inflated, pulled the rock off the thing, I went in there to get the item. It immediately dropped on me and killed me. So I was more wary the second time I did it.
Octorok balloons only last like 15 seconds, I think.
It had one of the funniest deaths I've had in the game where I was like, fuck this stupid rock. I put 5 octo balloons on it, jumped onto it, and was like hanging onto it because I put 1 octo rock on one side, which isn't enough because it just went vertical.
Mm-hmm.
And then they popped. And then it fell over and it flipped me onto the water where there was a rock in there for a Korok puzzle and just smashed me and I died. Because I fell from so high up I got squished by the fucking stone.
Yeah, I think the game is amazing. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I deduct that 1 point if I gotta be arbitrary like that, only because, half of those world exploration puzzle things are fucking Koroks. They can the 900 cars can fuck off. I wanted more shit where, like, say, just finding like a destroyed like town or something. You'll see like arrows in like the walls or like swords laying on the ground, and just be able to find more cool shit as opposed to just finding more Koroks. Like in the plateau and in Central Hyrule, there's plenty of that, but in the rest of the areas, it's just like, here's a small island with 2 Koroks side by side. Fuck you. Like, I don't care. Like, give me, like, a little hidden treasure chest or something. Give me, like, a little enemy camp that has, like, fucking fun reward. At least I have to play the game and get that, I don't care about I don't care about Korok chase puzzles, or the little flower one, or the one where you have to throw, like, or you have to shoot arrows at the balloons. I don't care. I don't fucking care. There's 900 of them. I don't care. I want to just find other shit besides Koroks, Koroks, and Koroks. They can fuck off.
I give the game a 10 out of 10 because I enjoy Dark Souls. I don't like Dark Souls bosses. I find them to be boring outside of a few because it's just like, all right, here we go. Let's fight this boss, go through this fucking pattern, whatever. What I play Dark Souls for is exploring all the neat areas, finding all the cool shit that's like hidden away in here with very, very strong enemies. Breath of the Wild is literally that. I can go literally, like, I played the Dark Souls 3 DLC, Ashes of Ashandriel, and I think the Ringed City comes out tomorrow. I don't care, I won't play it because I'm going to be playing Zelda for the next 3 months.
Pretty much, yeah.
But, like, in that, I looked, there was, like, that ice area, and, like, from anywhere I could see this big river. I'm like, oh, man, it'd be really cool if I can get down there. And so, like, I just found some tree roots, jumped on those, and just made my way down to that, like, river. I'm like, oh, this is a whole fully modeled, crazy-looking area. In Breath of the Wild, like, first thing I did when I saw what the game wanted me to do, like head towards a shrine, I fucked off and went in the opposite direction. And I'm able to, like, if I want to explore something, I can do it. I'm the kind of dude playing Mario Galaxy who's, like, trying to hop over weird walls for literally no reason. There's obviously nothing up there, but I'm going to do it.
You just want to do it for the sake of you want to do it.
Anyway, best game ever made. Love it. It's a good game. It's going to be playing for a long time. Speaking of the best things ever, you can find us on Twitter at Let Me Tell You PD. You can also find a Discord in the description here, and a Patreon we set up with a whole bunch of fans contributing in there. It just started now. It's doing pretty well. We super appreciate all the stuff that you guys are doing. Anyway, that's it for this episode, so see you next week.